Hi, I wanted to add quickly to clarification to the lower thirds assignment. It says in there that you're supposed to use a logo, and yes, I want you to use the logo. The one I'm asking you to use is the one that is the San Francisco State logo. And this is the page that you get to if you do a simple search on Google, for example, for the San Francisco State logo. One of the first links that you get to is, or the first, the logo.sfsu.edu. It even has its own domain, so to speak. Identity System Guidelines, working with the San Francisco State University logo. So clicking over to that, you get to all these various informational parts, how to use it on social media, web template, etc., etc. Here's the logo itself, and I've made a screenshot of these colors as the defining ones for the logo. All right, that kind of just goes to show. I hope it makes a little bit of an impression that wow, they put a lot of work into this, and probably way more than that. They probably put millions of dollars into developing the logo, the standardization of all their materials based on this one logo at this size, this font, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's really important to kind of work with that just as given and do the best possible. You guys are junior designers, so to speak, and your job is to do solve a problem. The problem is you need lower thirds that integrate the SFS State logo, and you're just branching out into After Effects, and that is the assignment. All right, I'm going to switch over to Photoshop and make a new. Here's a rough example that I kind of played with, but I want to make a little bit of a different one. A rough layout of the background, not the type. I'm going to add that in After Effects. A rough example of the lower third in Photoshop. So I'm going to go Photoshop, File, New, and then when it brings me up these options here, I'm going to choose in the presets available for film and video. I'm going to go to the first one here on the left side, at least for me. HD TV 1080p, and that has the pixels within that template have a squared pixel 1:1 aspect ratio, which is perfect, and it's HD TV. All right, so I'm creating that, so that's an empty space. One of the first things I'll do is click the lock here on the right side of this layer. This is the layers panel. To get rid of that locked layer. I don't know if I need it or not, but we'll see. The next thing I'm going to do is go to this screenshot that I already loaded, and I'm going to copy it from where it is on its separate Photoshop document, and instead I'm going to paste it to where is mine? Oh, good. See all these. Okay, I'm going to paste it here somewhere. This is fine. It doesn't really matter. This is going to be for reference, so I can use the color picker and pick the right colors. Next thing I'm going to do is to save this. Save as. I'll just say lower thirds Misha A PSD. It's already a PSD. So for right now, I'm going to save this to my desktop. I'm not going to model. I'm going through where to save it. This is production work, so to speak. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the logo, and this I'm going to bring in this one, I think, even though it's more of a challenge and I don't like how big it is, but that's fine. Command A to select everything, Command C to copy it, and Command V to paste it here. All right, so you can now see here's the background layer, turn on and off. Here's layer 1, that's this screenshot, and layer 2 is the logo. This one I'm going to actually name logo. And I am going to grab this and move it down to the corner. Actually, I think I'm going to have it on top of my text. We'll see how top heavy it gets. I'll put it underneath. All right, so I'm going to go to this move tool, selection tool. That's up here, these arrows, or hit the same shortcut. So I didn't go to it yet. Same shortcut I have in After Effects, V. All right, so that gets me this. And now I can move this around. I kind of want to have this in the corner, but I don't want it anywhere as close as big as it is right now. So edit, free transform. We'll transform whatever you have selected, or we'll give you the bounding box around with whatever you have selected. So free transform or Command T or Control T. So here I have, and I want this way smaller like this, and I'll push it up a little bit so I can see most of the text. My lower thirds will be on top of that. By default, it's keeping the aspect ratio, so you don't have to worry about that so much. And there's thousands of different ways to do this, but this is just one way. I'll use this with the regular marquee tool, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm doing Command plus, and then I'm holding down, hitting the space bar and holding the space bar to scrub into this corner and see everything a lot bigger. See, I can take a guide and snap it to the side here. You go down a little bit. All right. So let's use this to make a rectangular marquee tool. I don't want to do this on the logo. I want to make a new layer. All right. So layer 2 is going to be the lower BG, lower background. And I'm going to go somewhere here and just put this here. All right, so now I have a bar, so to speak, where I'm going to put the role of somebody on. That's going to be the secondary text. I've already created a gradient that I like, so it should come up as the default. I'm going to click into the gradient box. Here's the gradient as I kind of wanted it. I'll click on it to edit it, just to show that I can edit it. So maybe I'll stretch this out a little bit. This gold is from our, let me see, this from our chart, right? So if I click into this color pot on the bottom, let's do this one actually. Click on this, I can pick this color, all right? I could also pick a different color, make it more clear here. This is the pink color, but I actually want this side to be the purple color. Okay, and then I made another pot on the top. You can just click on the top to make another one. And if you don't want it, and how do you hit delete? No. You just right click and say delete. No. I guess you just drag it away. Here's one. You can put one there and then drag it away if you don't want it. Okay. And what I wanted here was a little bit of transparency. All right. Anyway, that's my explanation on the gradient. I'm gonna go. I'm on this lower background gradient. I'm going to go from here, drag across, and I have a little bit of that on top. I am going to add, going down to the layer panel, and underneath there I'm going to add a, I don't want to do it. I'm just adding a stroke to this, and we're going to do 4, and that's it. Okay, so let me get rid of these marching ants. I'm clicking here. Command D will deselect. So I'm not sure why it looks so funky right now. Okay, that's what I wanted, but I guess that adding that stroke made it look funky. Okay, gradient. Okay, somehow it's making it look funky. So I'm gonna keep the gradient away. I don't even want that then. All right, Command D will deselect, and we'll just leave this like it is. I'm going to copy this by dragging it down to the new layer button, and now I have this new layer called new layer copy, lower layer copy. I'm going to make this upper background. And so now I have an upper and a lower. With that selected, I'm going to push this up with the arrow keys. And I guess I'll have a little space here in between. Sure. And with this selected, I'm going to do Command T again to grow this a little bit, and we'll have this a little bit bigger. If I wanted to make this selection again like it was, I would hold Command and click on the thumbnail, and then I could, for example, mess around with the gradient again. And kind of push that forward or something like that. That's fine by me, actually. Looks a little bit different. Let me do it a little bit more extreme. All right, so that now they look a little bit different. There, now they look a lot different. Okay, cool. You get the idea. This is also only one way to do this. So now I have this background. I am not crazy about how big the logo is or how it looks. So let me see if I can bring that down a little bit. Let me just try to fit it in there. And then click away. And then with it still selected, maybe bring it down a little bit. Hold V. Okay, so this is going to be my look here. And see, I gotta try this. Nope, it will not let me do it. Okay. It will not let me do a stroke without screwing up my entire thing. You just look at this. This is great. Look at this old-fashioned bevel and emboss kind of thing. Looks really bad. All right, so we're just getting rid of this. Okay. I'm turning this one off. This is the font, the color example, and then this is it. All I really need is these 3 layers, but they're now in place where they should be. I have saved this as lower thirds Misha APSD. I'm going to do another Command S. And over in Photoshop, over in After Effects, I am going to import this. Project, Command I or double click. This should be on my desktop. Lower thirds Misha A, and I'm not going to import it as footage, which would flatten it all, but I'm going to say composition, retain layer sizes. And do I want these layer styles editable? Sure. All right, so here we are, lower thirds Misha A layers, and here's the comp that goes along with that. Let me turn off caps lock and get rid of this layer window, and boom. There we are. I don't need the layer on the very bottom, and I don't need the layer that is, I don't think I do, this one, but maybe I'll keep it for right now, because if I do. So now I can do my text on top of that, and I hope that makes sense. So there's one integration. Not very beautiful. You guys will do a better job. Cool. I hope that helps.